get the clarity in the program. Till that time, just remember JDBC drivers we are using to convert Java calls into the SQL calls. That is nothing but you can say SQL language. Now what is this Java calls, SQL calls? I can't give the clarity right now. I will give the clarity in the program. And till that time, your job is just keep quiet, don't ask me any question and listen carefully. JDBC drivers, remember Java calls we are using to convert the Java calls into the SQL calls. We are using to convert Java calls into the SQL calls. So whether we are going to convert whole Java program or we are going to convert only one line, that thing I will give the clarity in the program. In the JDBC program, I will give you the clarity how it is working. So is it clear, guys? Is it clear? Just remember one thing, Java calls to SQL calls. Java calls to SQL calls. Java calls to SQL calls. That's it. Good then. So what is the last component in the JDBC architecture? What is the last component in the JDBC architecture? Exactly, database application. So tell me in the SQL classes which database you learned? Hey, hey, SQL, how many done at least started with SQL or completed with the SQL? How many are not done with the SQL? Just tell me. Those who are not done with the SQL, tell me. Thank you so much. I'm glad to read this. Okay, don't worry. Tejal ma'am is here. We will see. We will find a solution for that. So don't worry. We will see. That's what I say. Okay, done. We will see that. Till that time, just have patience. Okay. So those who are not aware with the database, just remember one thing. Database we are using to store user information in the form of table. In the form of table. Database we are using to store user information in the form of table. Second thing, just I am saying those who are not done with the SQL, don't worry. You will learn everything in the SQL classes, but till that time I will just give you the clarity. So to store the user information in the form of table, we are using the database. Second thing, in the database, you will store that user information permanently. In the database, you will store that information permanently. Then next is nothing but, just remember always, supposedly here one programmer is there. Sorry. Supposedly here one programmer is there. Done. Here you have something call it as database. So not a single programmer can access the database directly. Not a single programmer can access the database directly. It is not possible at all. Not a single programmer can access the database directly. It is not possible. So how it can possible? For that purpose, we have something called it as relational database management system. Okay, for that purpose we have something called it as relational database management system. What is the work of relational database management system? So programmer will access the relational database management system. Programmer will access the relational database management system. For what purpose? So to manage the database application. Programmer will access the relational database management system to manage the database application. How? Means this relational database management system will store this relational database management system will store data in the form of table. This relational database management system will store the data in the form of table in the database. So always remember, not a single programmer can access the database application directly. This concept is not possible at all. So what we will do, we have another concept, relational database management system. Programmer will access this system, and by using this system, programmer will manage the data which is present inside the particular database. How data is present in the database? So because of this particular system, data is present in the database in the form of table. Data is present in the database in the form of table. Are you understanding, guys? Are you understanding? So tell me why we are using the database? Why we are using the database? Exactly, we are using the database to store the particular information in the form of table. Can any programmer access the database directly? Can any programmer access the database directly? So tell me, to access the database means to manage the information which is present in the database. Which concept we have to use? Exactly. Firstly, the programmer have to access the relational database management system. What is the usage of relational database management system? It will manage the database application as per the programmer's requirement, and it will store the data in the form of table. And it will store the data in the form of table. Are you understanding, guys? Is it clear? Good then. So this is the last component of your particular JDBC architecture, that is nothing but database. Now observe here, the thing is in the SQL classes, SQL class, you are going to work with one database, call it as Oracle database. So already you are aware with this how to work with the Oracle database. That's the reason we planned that in the advanced Java classes, instead of using the Oracle database, we are going to use the MySQL database. Means what will happen? MySQL is first thing, it is open source. Oracle is not open source. MySQL is open source. So it is easy for usage. It is easy for usage, as well as it is a trending database. Trending database means nowadays your Google, after that Instagram, after that your Facebook, this all the applications are using the MySQL database. I know that MySQL is also invented by the Oracle only, but still, okay, this is the MySQL database which is most trending and popular nowadays. So remember, in the SQL class, you are going to work with the Oracle database, but in the advanced Java classes, we are going to use the MySQL database. Reason is simple, three reasons are there, because it is open source and Oracle is not open source. It is easy for usage, and last is it is trending, or you can say it is a popular. Is it clear? Open source means, see, you have to purchase the Oracle database. Anusha, open source means you are not spending any money over there. It is a free of cost. We are calling it as open source, like Java is a free of cost. In the world, some languages are there. If you want to use them, you should purchase it. So that's the reason Oracle you should purchase it, but MySQL is open source, free of cost. Okay, and those who are not aware with the database, so all I just forgot to inform one point. On this database, if you want to perform the operation, then programmers are using one language, call it as SQL. Why programmers are using the SQL language? So programmers are using the SQL language to perform the operations. Programmers are using the SQL language to perform the operations.